Hi, I'm Spoop from No Checkpoint. Have you guys ever had a game that you loved, a true hidden gem that nobody else knew about? Because I have. Right now for me, that game is Stick It to the Stickman, the game that we're going to be talking about today. Stick It to the Stickman, which I'll be shortening from here on out, released in August of 2025. It's the most recent game from Free Lives, a small South African studio. According to Wikipedia, they're most known for Broforce, a 2D shmup loaded with 80s charm. What you most likely know them from is Genital Jousting, a penis game that Markiplier played 10 years ago. Looking over their catalog of games, one thing is abundantly clear. These guys have a great understanding of what made simple classic games fun, and more importantly, what made them not fun. Sticking It in My Stickman is what I would consider near perfection of the beat-em-up genre, and that's largely due to how much this game innovates. If you couldn't tell already, I like this game. Making this video is like junk food to me. I just get to glaze and glaze. Let's start with the basics though and work our way through. We've got a lot to cover. Starting with, if there's anything that can be said straight away about Up the Butt Stickman, it's that it's funny. Genuinely hilarious. The game features loads and loads of humor, especially corporate humor. Anyone who's ever had a job or knows how capitalism works is sure to get a great laugh out of this. The whole game is a satire of capitalism, and it can be as surface level as, oh, please the shareholders, or as far as silencing protesters and making up a fake story about the company's founder, which is genuinely the funniest thing in this game. I'm not even gonna try and do a skit to match this game. I'm simply not funny enough. Please play it for yourself.
In the chaos, our founder's parents were shot and killed to death. Our founder had been double orphaned.
All of this humor bleeds into the entire game, from the variety of characters, cutscenes, and of course the entire premise. This game fires on all cylinders in the presentation department. It is a good-looking game, with simple and clear visuals most of the time. On harder difficulties, it can kind of turn into a glob of colors during fights, but it's not too big of a deal. Oh shit! What can be a big deal is the lag. On my modest setup, I got fairly consistent performance until the physics engine starts screaming for help. When it does, we enter cinematic gameplay, but given my CPU, that shouldn't really be a surprise. TLDR, the game runs great for the most part. Unless your PC is over 9 years old, you should be able to comfortably handle most of it on max settings, and of course you can always lower them. Let's get talking about one of the game's most defining features, and something I mentioned earlier though. Physics. This game is built entirely on its physics engine, and it works great with the basic gameplay. Everything has momentum and weight. It makes it all the more satisfying to beat the hell out of people. Combat in this game feels great all around. The hit sound effects remind me of the Arkham games, but only the good ones, so only these two. There's more to this game than just basic 1-2 punches though, and to explain all of it, I'm going to take it from the top. Each level has a selection of unique characters available, all of them being based on an employee archetype. You've got the weeb, the strong dude, the gun nut, the regular guy. Each of them has a unique set of starting moves, a unique pool of moves they can get, and a unique passive ability. If you're anything like me, your ears just perked up with the amount of replayability from just character variety alone. It doesn't stop there though. Let's start a run. We begin at the bottom floor and have to fight our way to the top. Fuck you. Along the way, you're going to be grabbing passives, new moves, and upgrading current moves. Each move has 3 upgrades, and typically it's better to have 1 tier 3 than 2 tier 2s. They get busted quick with these upgrades. It's also important to take a look at how moves work. At the bottom of the screen, you'll notice the moves you have are in a line instead of just tucked away, and this is for a reason. Moves are done in sequence, and some moves rely heavily on this mechanic. The Shadow Clone, for instance, does the next move in line, and it can be useful to pick moves with this in mind. This is something that at first felt weird, but as you play it makes more sense. How else would they let the player have upwards of like 15 moves per run with only 1 attack button? Moving on, the passives are also insanely useful. From buffing kicks or punches, giving a random chance for powerful buffs, making you impossible to hit while running, to even just making you walk gay. Yeah. If you can't already tell, power snowballs in this game. If you have even the slightest idea of how to build and what abilities to pick, for instance, buff punches if you have a lot of punches, then you'll be clearing floors in no time. There's still 2 more mechanics that make us even more powerful though. Early on in every run, you'll meet Mr. You're Not Special. You promptly put him in the fucking wall, and then prove him wrong by selecting a special ability. Fuck you. There's a good few, but you'll only be presented with 3 per run. These vary from really useful to kinda forgettable, but in the right situations you'll be glad you had them. The final basic mechanic is combos, and how these work is entirely up to you. You can either gain combo by hitting enemies quickly, gain combo by hitting enemies and not missing, or gain combo by taking damage. Every 10 combo you have, you deal +1 damage to a max of 7. Man, it sounds like this game must be really easy with all these unique abilities. Why would you think that? Are you fucking stupid? Easy difficulty is a comfortable ride I think anyone is capable of doing, but once we get up to medium, we gotta put our big boy pants on and pay attention. The game is gonna starve you for health, spawn piles of enemies, have more armed and armored enemies, have more mini bosses, and the tower gets taller and taller. I'm not the greatest at this game, I'll admit, but that's what makes for a good roguelike in my opinion. This game is easy to pick up and hard to master. If you want a slightly easier time though, you can always play in co-op. Sadly, it's local only, but that's not a problem for me because I get hoes. Co-op plays out as expected with the caveat that you have to murder each other at the end of each run. Speaking of the end, once you climb the tower, you have to fight the CEO in an epic climax. Upon victory, the shareholders abduct you to be their value slave and you get paid. With the money you earn from runs, you'll be able to progress the upgrade tree for the level. Some upgrades are bought with money, some with less common resources like paperclips and squirt emojis, and some are unlocked by completing an action X number of times. These upgrades not only add to variety, but keep it fresh and have you always working towards a goal that actively changes the levels. That about covers the basic gameplay. This game has a deceptively large amount of stuff going on. There's still more to go into, but we're done with the basics. Now we're gonna get into hold up. Hey team, how's it going? Good. Did I catch the game? Yep, nothing surprising out of New England. Speaking of nothing surprising, it looks like the reports are fairly... everyone look at my screen share. Great, so why are we here? It's like looking into the future, and it's fucking evil. Hate that shit. The second major level you unlock is the Fulfillment Center, which is, of course, Amazon. Just like the first level, the Financial Towers, we are in for a treat with the amount of jokes they've packed in. Starting in at the character select, we have 2 basic guys, a glue sniffer, and a survivalist. Despite not having worked at Amazon a day in my life, my inside source says this is exactly what the average warehouse job is like. Heading into our shift, we'll find pee bottles, which are very useful. This is actually a great time to explain how you mostly get health back in this game. Drinking water and peeing. I can attest to this, as I've had peas that are better than entire years of my life. The Fulfillment Center follows the same basic gameplay as the Financial Tower, with the addition of a dash which can be done on the ground or midair, but it does need replenished. This dash serves a very important purpose, as the Fulfillment Center is less a regular beat-em-up and more about speed. Instead of going up, you go side to side. As you run through the facility, you run into timed areas and packages. The packages are very important, as delivering them rewards CP, as well as progress towards an upgrade. Aside from filling the bar up, the only other way to get upgrades in this mode is by buying them with CP or by opening yellow boxes throughout. Most of the upgrades are focused on speed in this mode, which can be a real problem, as it still has bosses and covers you in enemies. You'll often have to choose between having damage and having speed. I get so many runs through this mode and then die at the end because I didn't prioritize damage and I get stomped by the boss. This level does have one of my favorite synergies in the entire game though. I love the slide mechanic. It's great for crowd control and slides are just cool, okay? In the Fulfillment Center, you can get an ability which makes you real slimy. This slime, while being gross, is also flammable. The boss who smokes and exploding attacks can set it off, which is amazingly useful for stunning basic enemies and during boss fights. Overall, the Fulfillment Center is really fun. Definitely a different kind of fun to the standard beat-em-up fare. I hope in later updates they expand the level variety and add more characters. I think variety matters more in this mode than the other modes, as most of the challenge comes from quickly making your way through tough sections while grabbing packages. Rounding out the main levels currently in the game is the gym, and this is by far the most unique one, so put your big boy socks on and let's get into it. The gym follows a simple structure of picking an opponent and going through 5 fights. You can't pick a character because of the way moves work in this mode. Each round, every move loses health, and when it runs out of health, you lose the move. Lucky for you, each fight rewards currency which allows you to buy more moves. This is the only game mode where you have complete control over your moveset, as you can get any move in the game and remove moves, as long as the game gives you those moves when it refreshes the shop. Now that we have our loadout picked, let's hop into a fight. Unlike the rest of the game, you don't control your character. The gameplay is basically just cockfighting. This doesn't make me hate it though. I love cocks. In the gym, your opponent is basically identical to you. Not literally, but they have equal access to moves and abilities, meaning they're very capable. It's honestly kind of a thrill, sometimes more than the other modes since control is taken away. This whole setup also makes the move hierarchy very different. When I play this mode, there's often a good bit of trial and error in fighting moves that work well when the AI has them. What's even more challenging though, is beating people online. Yeah, that's right. Online play. Okay, not technically. You may see that giant online button and think you're about to be put head to head into some combat, but no, that's not really how it works. The game allows you to play against other players' builds, and I'm gonna be honest, that's sufficient for me. I had a harder time against other players compared to the pre-made builds, but I found it a lot more satisfying. Is this gonna sell you on the game? Probably not, but it gives this mode more replay value than it otherwise would have had. That covers all the major modes and gameplay that you can experience in this game, but that's not all there is to do. We're going to move a little bit quicker through this section, but I do think it's important to cover a lot of the smaller stuff in the game because that's really what makes it so good. The best place to start is with something you may have been waiting for me to cover, the open world. Well, open world is a bit of a stretch, but hub worlds get a bad rap. This simple little city is the first thing you'll see when you start the game, and you'll be here a lot. This is where you pick the mode, and you'll be plopped down here after every run. One of the first things you'll probably try is smacking someone in the face, to which you'll find great success. Just like everyone's favorite dark and shitty game, this gives you a star and soon you'll be touched by the police. Manage to survive the most threatening attack in the entire game, the gun, and you'll eventually get the army involved. Yes, you can steal the tank. That's a great introduction, but surely there's more to do. As you start leveling up, you'll be able to gain access to every white person's favorite pastime, gentrification. This is mostly cosmetic, but it serves the purpose of getting you interacting beyond just picking the level. While wandering around the map, you may notice these red statues. I initially thought nothing of them until I stopped to think. I had seen these before. There's only one thing that red statues can mean. Unless you're from Unikit, it's a regional dialect. Yay! Not only is the objectively best superhero in this game, but so is the second best. Wolverine. Wait, no. This list here says Spider-Man.
Holy shit! It's Spider-Man!
I don't know what dumbass made this superhero list, but it wasn't me. But anyway, yeah, Spider-Man is in this game, but I'm not telling you how to get him because I gotta leave something for you to do. I think it's genuinely a crime how hidden these two characters are because they are some of the most fun characters in the entire game, and I'm gonna perpetuate that crime. Batman's moveset almost works too well. Another section in which I almost had too much fun is with the golden statue you can plop down after killing some protesters. Here you'll learn the true story of the company's founding, and if this doesn't convince you of this game's quality, nothing will.
Double Orphan! Combined with his best friend, had the tremendous IQ to end the scourge of adoptive parent-killing crime gangs. Your stuff is our stuff. Give us your stuff. Reverse hostile takeover! His business acumen left them awestruck. Too powerful! Merge harder!
Okay, I don't think I want to merge anymore.
Now you know the true and accurate history of our founder, a pioneer, a disruptor, an innovator, and a sympathetic orphan.
Another feature I'm quite fond of is the level creator. Unlike some shit-ass games that I will not name, Mario Maker on 3DS, this game has a good level editor and a good browser for set levels. Admittedly, I didn't spend a whole lot of time on this. I prefer to just keep it simple most of the time, but it is yet another way to play the game. It also helps that the level editor is really good. If you want to do something, you probably can. I was frankly shocked by the amount of freedom offered, and I would be over the moon to see the Fulfillment Center also get a level editor. Currently, you can only make levels for the Financial Tower, which is fine. I get it. The Financial Tower is really simple. Like me. But I eagerly await new updates. Anyway, this is my level. I call it Penis Land. I made it in 5 minutes. That caps off the glazing portion of this video, so now it's time to complain. I don't have a lot of issues with this game, but the ones that I do have I feel very strongly about. Let's start with my biggest. Move balance. I hate moves with limited uses, and I don't think they're that great. It comes down to two things. One, I'm a bit of a button masher. I find myself occasionally caring about what move I use from time to time, but in all honesty, it's rare. I'm just trying to hit shit. When half my moveset is limited moves, I just don't have a lot of fun. The Survivalist in particular is a character I cannot stand. The second issue is how hard it is to sustain the playstyle. I think the best character for this is the Conservative, since he comes with a 20% chance to refill ammo on every kill. That ability is a downright necessity, because otherwise you just run out and lose half your moveset. I simply don't like it. You can get this ability later on in runs, but coming with it by default makes it so much easier. If you haven't already guessed, I think this system could be fixed if you just add more moves that help sustain the playstyle. I don't think the limited use moves are going to become any more broken than the absurdly broken abilities already are. Another thing that wrestles my jimmies is how lopsided level progression is. At first you'll be blasting through stuff, but at a certain point, you'll wind up with $10 trillion and have nothing to spend it on. You have to grind runs just to unlock one specific thing because the next upgrade requires 50 squirt emojis. Why is that needed? My next issue is less of a criticism and more of a request for more content. There's not a whole lot to spend money on. I would love cosmetics. Another idea I had would be the option to use money to permanently level up character starter moves. Would this make easy mode too easy? I mean, maybe. Just make the permanent upgrades expensive though. That basically wraps up my problems with this game. There weren't that many this time, were there? Stick to the Stickman is an absolute gem of a game that I've loved nearly every minute of. Every time I think the game is losing steam, I level up and the devs make me chuckle with obscenely well done humor. The basic gameplay is everything I love in a game, easy to pick up and satisfying from moment one. This game doesn't need 10 hours of gameplay and a Reddit thread to start having fun. It's satisfying from the first punch. Its combat is simply sublime, and the way moves work is an amazing innovation to avoid the monotony of older beat-em-ups. Unlike most of said older beat-em-ups, this game will be showing you new shit hours into the game and it stays entertaining. All in all, it's just a phenomenal time. So when I originally wrote this outro, I had this joke where I was like, oh my god, a new video in a reasonable amount of time, but then I recorded the VO and all the gameplay and then didn't record this for like a month, so that joke is no longer relevant. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I really do hope you check out Stick It to the Stickman. It's phenomenal. I don't really know what I'm going to do next. I have a couple of ideas, but as you saw in the last video, I've been burned pretty hard by promising to review something I haven't actually played yet. So today, I'm just going to say goodbye.